Hey guys, Godzilla here, welcome back to another video, and in this video, in celebration of Godzilla's 66th birthday, I will be reviewing the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2002 figure. I recently just picked this figure up. I believe I got him on Saturday, and the reason why I got him is because of my birthday, which is coming up in a few days. My best friend, he wanted to get me something that I really wanted. So, this is something I really wanted. He gave me the money to get it, and, here it is. I was originally going to get the SH Monster Arts Nargacuga for Monster Hunter, if you have no idea who that is. But I'm not really a huge Monster Hunter fan, and then I seen the price for this dropped. So I figured, might as well get a figure that I actually really want to get. Not that I didn't really want to get the Nargacuga figure. I did actually kind of want to get it. But I want this one way more. So, here we are. And I don't regret the decision because the figure is great. I think the sculpting is amazing. I really like the way it looks. The paint is amazing. I do have a few issues with the paint. I also do have a few issues with the sculpt as well. Mainly minor issues. One being this right here. Yeah, actually, let me do this. The tip of the tail has a bend to it. I would prefer if it was straight. This is more like a personal nitpick for me, to be honest. This, isn't going to really be an issue for anyone else. At least as far as I know. But this right here, I would prefer it if it was straight, but it's, it has this weird curve to it, and it does bug me, but, like I said, that's just me. And then, there's not really, well, the hands for the sculpts are a bit weird. It's like, it's all rough, and, in how Godzilla's scales are. And then when you get to the hands, it just gets super smooth, and it's really weird. I don't know if it's supposed to look like that, but it just looks off. And also the color is a slightly different skin tone on the hands than on the rest of the body. So, and that is somewhat noticeable, but, not really too big of an issue. But the big main paint issues I have on this figure are in the face. Of course, as you can see with the eye right here, the eye is looking much more up than it should be. I believe it's supposed to be looking more like this. I can't say for sure if this is 100% how it looks, but I guarantee this is not how it looks. And also, of course, the teeth are not great. This is, of course, a common SH Monsters thing. So, not really too surprised here. It doesn't really bother me too much, if I'm being honest. I would imagine that doing paint on the teeth is pretty hard, so I don't really hate it. Don't get me wrong, it would look better if it was completely white and, not sloppy, but, I don't, it doesn't bother me too much. I imagine that it would bother a lot more people, but for me, I'm not that, it doesn't really bother me, if I'm being honest, that's just me. And also, the sculpt in the neck, of course, is an issue I kind of have. It just looks weird. I know that's how it's supposed to look, but it just looks really weird. And that's the same way I feel for the NECA Godzilla 2003. The neck, it has that kind of weird issue with it where it just looks awkward. It's more towards on the NECA 2003 than on this. It looks more better on this, but the NECA one just looks really weird. And of course, the articulation for the arms is much more better than it is on the NECA 2003, which is good. I do have a few articulation problems, mainly being right here on the tail. The tail at the base is a bit loose, as you can see. It doesn't really, cause too much of an issue at all. It's just there. So, it's not an issue. The main issues I really have with the articulation is, let me go back in the focus, right here and right here. these two spots like to pop off pretty frequently, and also there's another spot right here that it doesn't pop off, but when I extend it, yeah, as you can see, it does like kind of push towards this way a little bit. I'm not sure if it's, I think it might just be because it's, past its limit and it's supposed to only go to like right here. But opening all the way, just, the jaw just goes that way. So, you can't really open it too much. You can only really open it maybe to right there or something like that to make it look somewhat normal. But right here and right here like to pop off. Not a lot. It's not like, super easy to come off. Like you touch it and it goes flying. But they do come off pretty easily. I think it's mainly because they're just like a little bit loose, and I'm also being a bit too aggressive maybe. And they just, kind of going over their limits. Or it just could be the joints are still tight because I haven't warmed this figure up because I never, didn't really have any issues moving it. So I figured, might as well just do the review and not have to warm it up. But I'll probably warm it up eventually, and maybe that'll fix the issue. I mean, like I said, they don't pop off super easily. They just, are a bit frustrating. Mainly this one, because I can't, I don't even know if I put this part on wrong or right when I had to put it back on. So I don't know if I put that on right or not. So hopefully I did. But when I test, to show you guys what the articulation is for the figure, I'm not going to use this arm or that leg in case, it pops off. But if these ones pop off, then I don't know. It just might be me being a bit too aggressive moving the articulation. But getting into the articulation itself, the head can move up about that far, of course, with the joint or the neck joint itself. I'm going to try and keep it straight. Kind of goes up, but not really far, and then kind of goes down, but not really far. But of course, with the neck, it goes for a bit more. The neck doesn't really have too much articulation. Of course, you can get a bit of a turn here. Let me fix the tail. You can get a bit of a turn, not really much. The neck articulation definitely, isn't as good as like the SH Monsterarts Godzilla 2019, but it's, it's fine. It doesn't bother me too much. This part, I guess you can say it's part of the neck articulation, or maybe it's like a neck shoulder articulation. I don't know. I'm not really sure what you could call it. Maybe chest articulation. You can kind of help them look down a bit more, though it does have a bit of a gap right there that, in my opinion, looks a bit awkward, so I will most likely keep it up here more. And then you can kind of helps you look up more, or, just look straight. The arms, I would use this arm, is pretty good. Definitely better than the NECA 2003 in terms of articulation. The arms can, go around and kind of, I guess, they can go 360. I don't want to push it because I don't want the arm to end up popping off. The elbow doesn't really have too much good of articulation. It's like, I think it's 90 degrees, but it might be a bit less than 90 degrees, like maybe 45 or, I don't know. I'm not really too good with angles, but I think it's like maybe 70 degree angle or maybe 80 degree or something like that. It's not a perfect 90 degree, but it's, it's kind of like that. And then the wrists can, of course, move and twist and go around and kind of go up and down, but not really much. And then you have the waist. And also you can do this with this joint as well. And of course, if I didn't mention already, the mouth opens and closes, of course. And then right here, it doesn't really do much. It kind of goes up and down, but I mean, there's no really point to it being there, if I'm being completely honest. And then the legs kind of go 360, not all the way. To go, it's stuck. There we go. It kind of goes back, but not really much. And then kind of goes forward a bit, but not much. The knees don't really bend that much at all. Maybe I don't even really have no idea what kind of angle. They just don't really bend at all, which isn't necessarily an issue because, I mean, what kind of thing are you going to be doing with Godzilla's knees anyways? And then going down to the feet have a pretty well range of articulation, though moving the feet is the main issue that I have with, mainly popping this one off. The feet articulation is better on this one, but I believe it's more loose, which is why it's making it pop off more. So that might be a bit of an issue. But, I mean, it's pretty good. I'm not really going to mess too much with it because I don't want to end up popping the leg off, because that is not fun to put back on. And then the tail is probably the best part of terms of articulation in the whole entire figure. You do get a lot of articulation in the tail, which is really, really good, and it stays up pretty well. So I think that's really, really cool. It really is what sells the figure for me in terms of articulation. I love the tail articulation. It's one of my favorite features with, these kind of Godzilla figures. I always love the tail articulation. It's what made the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2019 very disappointing to me, is that the fact that the tail articulation was just not there. And I've already explained it like 1,000 times of what's wrong with it and yada yada, so I'm not gonna get too much into that. But the tail articulation here is just fantastic. It's unfortunate that it doesn't come with any accessories. I almost said articulation, which obviously wouldn't be the right term that I'm looking for. But yeah, it doesn't come with any accessories, unfortunately. It would have been cool if it came with maybe I don't know, some special Mechagodzilla accessory, or I don't know, a beam effect or something. I don't know. But it would have been pretty cool to come with an accessory. But it don't bother me too much. The Godzilla is what really, of course, sells the entire figure for me. But in comparing it to a few other figures I have here is the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2019. So we'll stand him up next to the 2002. They're kind of the same height. I think 2019 might be a bit taller. I think so. And it actually looks like they're a bit the same height. So, yeah, I think they're the same height. And of course, the 2002 is longer. I'm pretty sure. I'm not really gonna test that out. Between these two, if I'm being honest, the sculpt is better with here. The articulation is better with here. If I were to pick one, I really don't know which one I would really pick. I guess if I was having to buy it, it would all depend on the price. Though if I had a chance to get another version of this, this exact same figure, but maybe for $40 or something like that, I would definitely get it, because the articulation on this is, it's disappointing, and this is just mine. I know a lot of other people don't have the issues that I have with this, and it's, like I mentioned before, it's mainly the tail. But, like I said, I'm not going to get into that. And then the last thing I want to compare it to is, obviously, the NECA Godzilla 2002, or 2003, my bad. Yeah, this figure just, it's just much more larger than this. It was very surprising when I got this, because I was expecting it to be like this. Of course, they're basically the same design, only difference is Scar. So when when I got this, I was like, man, this is so small. And then I was comparing it to my SH Monster. I was like, no, it's not. It's not small. What am I talking about? But it was because I was mainly in my head comparing it to the NECA Godzilla 2003 because of the differences. And between the two, I prefer this one. I just think it looks better. I think the articulation is better. Don't get me wrong, the NECA Godzilla 2003 is an amazing figure, but I would 100% prefer this one, and it has neck articulation. This one obviously doesn't. And better arm articulation. This one doesn't really have too good arm articulation. The tail articulation is pretty similar. I think this tail is the best out of the NECA figures, and I think maybe this might be the best out of the SH Monsters figures. The Godzilla 2014 tail might be better for, like, you know, movement, but this one, you know, the 2014 can't do this. So that wins in that kind of, I'm not sure what you call it. Maybe pose, maybe posing. It wins it in posing. So, yeah. But that's that. Move this out of the way. So that's really it for this video. That is the review. If you ever get the chance to get this figure and you're thinking about it, I would say just go for it. It's really an amazing figure. The chance of you having the same issues that I have, I'm going to say it's about 25%. I can't really say for sure if, of course, no one really knows when they get a figure if they're going to have issues with it or not. You know, they shouldn't have issues at all, which is kind of the thing that I have with mainly the SH Monsters figures, is when you buy a figure, there's always going to be an issue. You never get really a perfect figure. I mean, sometimes you do, but it's pretty rare nowadays, if I'm being honest. I could be wrong. That might just be me. But, you know, usually when I get my SH Monsters figures, there's a few issues here and there. There always is. Which is an unfortunate thing because we're paying so much for these figures. I wish they wouldn't have issues. And I hope that my SH Monsters Biolante doesn't have any issues. If it does, it's going to be very disappointing. If it's minor issues, then it won't bother me that much at all. But if it's like maybe one of the tentacles fall off a lot, then that will bother me. I know the tentacles or the vines, whatever you want to call them, on Biolante are going to have a bit of an articulation issue because the joints are so small. But, I mean, as long as they keep the figure as great as the original one, then I think it's going to be, you know, just perfect. But, I don't know, we'll just have to see when the time comes for that. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, if you guys want to get this figure, I 100% recommend it. It's an amazing figure. My overall rating on this, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. It's a pretty amazing figure. It's definitely going to be one of the top on my best figures of 2020, which is going to be a very hard list because I have a lot of good figures this year. So I'm going to have to figure out something to for that. But anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.